Some more Kentucky news. It's 3:08 a.m. in the morning, 9/26, 2013. So, September 26th, getting close to the end of the year. All the news stories that I am talking about are recent stories. So these are recent Kentucky stories that are happening. They're prescient. They're central. They're important. Um, and a lot of important changes are going on. Okay, so couple issues. There's a September 25th article here, Wave 3 News, written by Scott Adkins. Got a gun on school property at Doss High School. So you got this guy from Doss High School who brought a gun to school. And it kind of reminds me actually of other incidences that haven't happened in other high schools. There was one incident where the student's cell phone was taken away, and he got into a fight, over it. And that has nothing to do with the issue with the guy at the school. This guy's not even attending Doss High School. There's a report that there's a man with a gun. They got pictures of the helicopter shot with him surrounded. Again, he's not, the investigators ain't saying why he was there. But I mean, apparently they would know something. Why would they, just a guy with a gun? They just found that information out of a void. No, somebody knew something, and so that's weird, right? This is just a weird thing that happened. Doss High School's in Louisville, Kentucky, 7601 St. Andrew's Church Road. Received an anonymous tip, and they shut down Doss and Toronto Elementary School, put them under lockdown. The man's name is Tyler Abshire. So Tyler Abshire is 18 years old. He's been charged with unlawful possession of a handgun on school property, which is, a charge that also the police are guilty of. But, they're hypocrites, so they have no sense of shame about busting other people for the crime that they actually commit. And with the Newtown shootings and the Obama trying to change the gun laws and how absolutely impossible it is here in America, it seems like the best way for a person to defend themselves is just give everybody guns, let everybody have guns. And so it almost seemed like either put lots of security personnel in schools or give the children guns themselves, or the teachers, just everybody has a gun, right? So it's kind of a weird contradiction. It's schools should be gun-free zones. I agree with that notion. It is hypocritical for them to come in there, but with the current debate that's going on, I feel like I'm sort of in the minority. When it comes to, they're kids, they're kids. So having a gun, maybe one armed person. There should be one armed person, and it should be with like 5 different keys in a vault deep down underneath, the ground where nobody ever goes or uses, and it gets forgotten about for, hundreds of years, and someone digs it up and it's a relic of the past, So, teen goes to Doss High School with the cell phone thing. The reason why I guess I brought that up, or the reason why I thought it was significant, is because he changed the policy. That guy, he had, smartphones are $100, $200, $300, $500 phones now, and so if you got a smartphone that's in your pocket, I think they might ban all cell phones. But everybody has one, right? And since everybody has one, you could use them in the schools. Some school has allowed for it to, for them to be used. But the last year there was a student that got to a fight with the teacher because they took the phone out of his hands, and he got into a scuffle match with it, wound up getting arrested and got sent out. And the teacher's all like, "Oh, I didn't understand," but it's like you're stealing his property. And in America, property is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which is just John Locke's property. So life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is guaranteed by the Constitution. Property. Some people say privacy too, but property, right? So when he did that, now there's schools that are being allowed to use a smartphone. So I don't know if one directly affected the other, but that is an important change. Here's another story, September 25th. 2013, yesterday, Louisville, Kentucky, a cup of ice was thrown at the police officers while they attempted to break up a large street fight on Tuesday, according to an arrest report. Louisville Metro Police responded to the fight at Boone's Park just before midnight. While officers were attempting to break up the fight, the report states Bobby Warren ran behind them and threw a large cup of ice on them. This is by Sarah Eisenmenger. And Eisenmenger, that was a male in Occupy. So I wonder if there's any relation there. And so, you know, I don't know. It's kind of Bobby Warren. Bobby Warren, that's a nice little protest. That's like throwing a shoe, you know, at somebody. Who throws a shoe? Who throws ice? But actually, I remember my old man throwing ice at my mother. So, you know, who throws ice? They're, you know, people that think violence can solve issues, but they're thrown at the police, and they're the ones that set that example that might is right. Violence solves all situations for anything. Don't look at me in the eye. Don't give me straight eye contact. I'm going to kick your ass. So, Bobby Warren, throwing ice at the cops. Recently at U of L, there is the school was shut down. No, U of L is not shut down. University of Louisville, they have there was one class that was shut down because there was a student that had been banned that was supposed to be coming on campus. The class is Ron Holmes' sex crimes class. Ron Holmes, that's a weird name. Dude looks like he's a 50, 60-year-old dude. Sex crimes class, you know, in the name, you know, in the new age technology, sex crimes, justice, you know, criminal justice. There's many fields that this class covers, so you know, it's a legitimate class. And you have this guy who's supposed to be walking on, you know, into, oh wow, Garrett Key. You know, Garrett Key is the guy that they're scared about, and actually Mark Hebert from U of L wouldn't talk about him because of privacy issues, but they determined from police reports, and, you know, just police reports, right? The police are always invisible. No person is ever named by the police. They're protected by the media 100% all the time. So Mark Hebert said you can't really, you know, what do you do when a person comes on the public campus? You know, you can have a pretty vigilant watchdog and watch everybody that comes in. But he says it's a public university, and so they're not going to build a wall around the whole campus and, you know, just watch out for him later on if there's any reports of him. So Key isn't the only person that's been banned from University of Louisville. Garrett Key, there's about 700 people that's actually on a list. So University of Louisville has a list of people that are not allowed to go on campus. And I thought that actually was a significant portion of that, you know, story. You know, some guy goes on campus for the safety of the students. The professor doesn't teach him. Ron Holmes, right? And I don't think he's related to Ron Jeremy or John Holmes. I don't know. Okay. So Humana recently has been fined after investigation found the company sent misleading letters about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. The letters were sent in August to about 6,500 people, and the letters policyholders were notified they had 30 days to renew their plans for 2014, or they would have to choose a more expensive option that complies with the Health Care Act. Insurance regulators said the letters didn't make it clear that people could wait and compare plans that will be offered on the state's health insurance exchanges. The Kentucky Department of Insurance fined the Louisville-based company over $65,000 for the incident. So this only justifies Obamacare. The rates have been going down. The insurance companies have been treating people nicer. They've been, you know, actually giving a shit. You know, been like acting like sensible, common sense fucking people, not like the bloodthirsty vultures they traditionally have been. And so now Humana sees that October 1st, you know, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to give me some health care. I think I qualified for Medicaid. I've probably been qualified for Medicaid since I've been 18, but nobody fucking tells me this shit. So I just walk around without no fucking health care, and if I'm not near death or if it doesn't, you know, it's not a prolonged pain, I ain't going to the hospital. Actually, I found out you could go to the ER for free, you know, a few years ago. So, I didn't even know about that. So, really, man, I was just thrown out into America completely blind. I was suckled, by wolves like the Jungle Book. Blue, the bear is my daddy. um, okay, so Humana, it just shows that Obamacare is going to work because Humana, Humana is, this big insurance company that is going to say, to the people, 6,500 people, you better jump on board on this plan or it's going to be expensive later on if you don't do now, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And of course they want to secure them now because October 1st, everybody's going to get on this government health care. They're going to start comparing and contrasting all these private insurance groups, and they're going to pick out the one that is best for them. And when they find that out, Humana's businesses are going to go down, and they know that. They know that they've been fucking gouging customers, for years. And that's why all the industry. That's why they was against Hillary Clinton when she wanted to do the health care. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit that Ted Cruz is starting this fight, which is a fake filibuster. This is shit. I forgot to mention one thing real quick from the earlier story, but I was going to go into Matt Bevins started hitting Mitch McConnell about it. But Congressman Thomas Massey, so you got this kid bringing a gun to school. He's in another world. He's not talking about Ted Cruz's fake filibuster. He's talking about Secretary Kerry signed the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, a move that undermines both our national sovereignty and our Second Amendment rights. The U.S. Senate could move for ratification, vote at any time. And oh my God, you signed, some fucking, I don't know, United Nations Arms Trade Treaty. There's a bipartisan letter saying they ain't going to sign it. It's all about the Second Amendment, and they're also going to repeal the Gun-Free School Zones Act. They don't want the guns, the schools to be gun-free, which, since this is the side Thomas Massey on, he's probably on the side of, this Tyler Abshire. Tyler Abshire goes to the Dawes High School with the gun. Thomas Massey says, let him be, let that man be. He's got a gun, the cop's got a gun, who gives a fuck? Everybody gets a gun, right? In May, he's talking about how he's fighting for it, so he's talking about, Secretary Kerry, right? So be scared of John Kerry. It's about he wants to repeal the unconstitutional Gun-Free School Zones Act, Citizens Protection Act. So he's fighting for us. Thomas Massey, the congressman from Kentucky's 4th congressional district in northern Kentucky, he's got our backs. So everybody be happy about that. Humana's their fucking evil insurance corporation. They're insurance salesmen. What the fuck? You kind of expect that type of shit. But good for the Kentucky Department of Insurance. Somebody should have took the credit for that. There's got to be a head, a director of the Kentucky Department of Insurance. They caught him fucking passing up these goddamn letters and fined him $65,000. So you try to pull some illegal shit with this healthcare shit, you're gonna get fined by the Kentucky Department of Insurance, which might be a brand new department, I don't know. But KYNECT, KYNECT, I think .com, Kentucky Connect is what it's supposed to look like, Connect, KYNECT. And that's October 1st, you can get on there and get on this exchange and try to get some health care if you previously didn't have any health care. So recently also Kentucky Louisville police, the LMPD, they got these photograph machines which are taking pictures of everybody's license plate, and they're scanning everybody's license plate to supposedly look for any type of distractions, a stolen vehicle or whatnot. License plate, the ACLU is talking up against it because there's a lot of private data that goes with the license plate, and if they're just randomly scanning everybody's license plate, they're really getting into a lot of people's private business. And so if you drive by a police officer, an LMPD officer, and he's sitting there taking pictures, he's probably taking pictures of your license plate, wants to see who you are and what's going on. Get all your data and find out, if you're an old 60-year-old Social Security taken, World War II veteran, or if you're a innocent 18-year-old woman and you get her address and where she lives and she's driving by herself, so you can say hello and meet her. So, and don't put it past a police officer for doing some shit like that. They're not, just because they're officials doesn't mean they aren't, men.